Don't ever let anyone tell you that trust is a foundation. It's a cage. And about 15 seconds from now, I'm going to tell you how a single piece of paper I found in my little girl's file became the key that locked me inside it forever. This is a story about how the person you'd lay down your life for can be hiding a truth that would make you question ever getting back up. If you've ever looked at your family and wondered what secrets are smiling back at you, you need to hear this. This is the day I found out my daughter wasn't mine. My name is Tony, 48 years old, lifelong resident of Belmont Cragin, Chicago. I'm a union electrician, Local 134. I work with concrete and conduit, things you can see and touch, things that are grounded in truth. My world was built on the same principle. There were 3 pillars holding up my sky: my wife, Chloe, and my daughter, Sophia. Chloe, 45, was my high school sweetheart. Met her at a St. Ignatius football game. She had a fire in her that could melt the Lake Michigan ice. She was a nurse, a caretaker, the one who held everything together. For 22 years, I believed we were a single, unbreakable unit. Then there was my Sophia, my 17-year-old girl, my miracle. She was all light and laughter, a talented artist who saw the world in colors I couldn't even name. She had her mother's smile, but she had my father's chin, or so I'd sworn my whole life. She was the living, breathing proof that my life had meant something. The crack in my universe appeared on a Tuesday, a day so ordinary it was almost an insult. Sophia was a senior, applying to art schools. The big one was the School of the Art Institute, right here in the Loop. The application required a digital portfolio, but she was struggling to format it. "Dad, you're good with this tech stuff," she'd said, handing me her laptop. "Can you just make it work? I'm gonna be late for work." Her work was a part-time job at a coffee shop in Avondale. She kissed my cheek, a whirlwind of hairspray and teenage anxiety, and was out the door. I sat at this very table, her computer open. It was simple. Find the files, compress them, upload them. But in her documents folder, amidst the folders labeled sketchbook and college essays, was another one. Medical. Seemed logical. Shots records, physicals. I clicked it open. And that's when I saw it. A PDF from a private lab I'd never heard of. Pattern IQ Solutions. The file name, Sophia_results. My blood didn't run cold. It just stopped. The hum of the refrigerator faded into a distant whine. Let me ask you something, for everyone following along so far. Have you ever had a moment where your brain just refuses to connect the dots? Where you see the truth laid out in front of you, but your mind fights it, tooth and nail, because accepting it would break everything. If you know that feeling, put denial in the comments right now. I need to know I wasn't the only one. I clicked the file. The document loaded. It was stark, clinical. A paternity test. 2 names listed. Subject A, Sophia Russi. Subject B, Anthony Russi. That's me. And then, the result. In bold, black letters that felt like they were burning themselves onto my soul. 0% probability of paternity. Excluded. The word echoed in the silent kitchen. Excluded. It wasn't just a biological term. It was a verdict. It meant I was a stranger in my own life. The 17 years of bedtime stories, of teaching her to ride a bike in the church parking lot, of holding her hair back when she was sick, it was all a performance. A lie I was performing for an audience I didn't know was watching. I didn't move. I just stared. How? Why? When? The questions weren't even fully formed. They were just a hurricane of shattered glass in my mind. Who ordered this test? Sophia. She couldn't have. She was a kid. Chloe. My wife. It had to be. But why would she? Unless she already knew. Unless she had always known. And that's the first big question I want you to sit with. Who do you think ordered that DNA test? Was it my wife, covering her tracks? Was it my daughter, secretly suspicious? Take a guess in the comments. This is crucial. I heard the garage door open. Chloe was home from her shift at the hospital. Panic, cold and sharp, seized me. I slammed the laptop shut. I felt like a thief in my own home. I had to act normal. I had to be Tony. But Tony was dead. The man sitting at this table was a ghost. "Hey, honey," Chloe said, coming in, dropping her bags. She looked tired, but she still leaned down to kiss me. Her lips felt like a betrayal. How was your day? Get Sophia's portfolio sent. It's almost done. I managed to choke out. My voice sounded like it belonged to someone else. I spent the next week in a fugue state. I was wiring a new high-rise in the South Loop, dangling from a harness 40 stories up, and all I could think about was that PDF. I'd look at Sophia, trying to see a stranger. But all I saw was my little girl. My chin. No, not mine. Someone else's. I started digging. Not with trackers or keyloggers, but with memory. I became an archaeologist of my own marriage. I sifted through the past, looking for the fracture point. And I found it. 17 years ago. I'd had a serious injury on a job site. A faulty panel blew, sent me to the ICU for a week. It was a dark time. Chloe was a wreck. And her rock, the guy who drove her to the hospital every day, who helped with the bills, was my best friend. Marco. He was my brother from another mother. We grew up together on the same block. He was my best man. He was Sophia's godfather. He had her eyes. Oh, God. He had her eyes. The pieces clicked into place with a sound that was almost audible. The timing. The proximity. The comfort. It wasn't an affair of passion. It was an affair of opportunity. A betrayal born in a hospital waiting room. But I still had no proof. Just a DNA test and a gut full of poison. The breaking point came on a Saturday. We were all supposed to go to a family cookout at my cousin's place in Norridge. Sophia was in her room, on the phone with a friend. I was passing her door and I heard her laugh and say, "Yeah, Uncle Marco is going to be there. He's the only one who gets my art. It's like we speak the same language." The same language. I walked into the kitchen where Chloe was making potato salad. The air was thick with the smell of mayonnaise and dill, the scent of 1,000 family gatherings. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't live in the lie. I looked at her, my wife of 22 years, and I said the words that would detonate our lives. I saw the test, Chloe. She froze. The knife she was using clattered onto the counter. She didn't turn around. "What test, Tony?" "Don't," I said, my voice quiet, deadly. "The paternity test. In Sophia's laptop. It says I'm not her father." She finally turned. Her face was a mask of pure, unadulterated terror. It was all the confirmation I needed. "Who is he, Chloe? Just tell me. After all of it, just give me that." She started to cry, silent tears streaming down her face. "Tony, it was a mistake. It was one time." Was it Marco? The way her eyes widened, the way her hand flew to her mouth, it was like I'd struck her. And in that moment, I knew. I knew it all. But then, a voice from the doorway, small and shattered, said, "What about Uncle Marco?" We both spun around. Sophia was standing there, her face pale, her eyes wide with confusion and dawning horror. She had heard everything. "Sophia, baby," Chloe started. "The test." Sophia whispered, looking from her mother to me. "The test in my medical folder? That was mine. I ordered it." The room tilted again. "What?" I breathed. She was crying now, hard, ugly sobs. For my biology class. We were doing a unit on genetics. We could do an optional extra credit project. A genealogy report using DNA. I thought it would be cool. I used one of your old toothbrushes, Dad. I didn't think. I just wanted the extra credit. She broke down, collapsing into a chair. I got the results a month ago. I didn't understand. I thought it was a mistake. I was too scared to tell anyone. I just hid it. Chloe was staring at her daughter, then at me, her world collapsing in a completely different way. The secret she had kept for 17 years was just revealed, not by a confrontation, but by a twisted coincidence, a goddamn high school extra credit project. So, there you have it. I found the incriminating DNA test in my daughter's file. A file she created for a biology class. The bomb was planted by my wife's infidelity, but the timer was set by my daughter's quest for an A. The fallout? It's a special kind of hell. Sophia is in therapy, grappling with the fact that the man she called Dad her whole life isn't her biological father, and that her mother and her godfather share a secret that rewrote her origin story. Chloe and I are navigating a minefield of lawyers and grief. Marco, he doesn't exist to me anymore. The truth was a gift, they say. But some gifts are curses in disguise. It gave me answers, but it took my daughter, my wife, and my best friend in one fell swoop. And that leads me to my final question for you, my incredible viewers. What would you have done? If you were Sophia, would you have ever confessed? If you were me, could you have ever looked at your wife again? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Your perspectives, they help. They really do. If this story shook you, if it made you hold your loved ones a little tighter, then do me one last favor. Share it. Share it with a friend, with family. Because the truth is a fragile thing, and sometimes it's hiding in the most ordinary of places, waiting to change everything. Thanks for watching. I'm Tony from Chicago. Hold on to your truth. I'll see you in the next story.